Welcome to Season 4 of UX Banter, your portal to insightful conversations with design illuminaries. We are back with even more engaging discussions with design leaders, delving into their experiences and inspirations. Get ready for fresh insights as you explore the latest trends and challenges in the industry. With me, your host, Dushyant Kanungo.
This podcast is presented by Galaxy UX Studio and powered by Galaxy Weblinks, an Inc. 5000 organization.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of UX Banter podcast with me, Dushyant. Our guest today brings a wealth of experience in product management and a strong focus on customer-centric solutions. With expertise spanning strategic initiatives, software development leadership, and pioneering custom-led growth strategies, he enhances user experiences at live events and facilities. Please welcome the head of product at Wicket, Adam Spaulding. Hey,
Hey, good
Adam.
to be here.
Welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
It's fantastic to have you with us today, and I think the weather is quite nice at this time in New Hampshire.
That's right. Yeah, I get outside and adventure off a little bit, spend some time with the family. It's a great time of year.
All right. So how was your journey like? I mean, before anybody could think about, well, right now everybody is talking about AI for the last 6 months to 8 months, that anybody you talk to, that is the primer focus of every discussion that they are having. And you are part of the ecosystem for the last 10 years now. And that is something that
That's right.
people can just talking right now, but they don't have the clear idea that where actually it all started. So can you walk us through your journey about how you became the professional that you are?
Yeah, I like how you phrased it too. It is a journey. I spent most of my life adventuring and really take life as a journey, and my career is the same way. And working in AI has been an adventure in and of itself. Every deployment, every feature we deploy, you have to really be sure that it's going to produce the right result that you're looking for. And so every day I really take step by step into finding those outcomes and delivering the outcomes, not for myself but for my customers. And that's been my journey. Started at a little startup. I was one of the early employees and was there for years. And we had to scale that company and ultimately sold that company. And it's really just about taking risks. And I spent time in fintech. I spent time in quantum, and now I work in biometrics and computer vision AI. And it's been a wild journey.
Nice. So now, as you are with the future tech as you're working, and we are all looking forward to the new things that AI can surprise us with. And you also said that you work with a lot in terms of the biometrics and the security side of things and the computer vision especially. What do you think is the differentiator now that we are living in with, and how it is going to change in, say, next 10 to 15 years?
It's pretty fascinating. The outcome that we're all achieving, as I'll start with the consumers first. I'm a product manager. We always try to put our users first, but they want things to be done now, and they want it to be done right. And any design or any product that's deployed or used at scale, it's really important that those two things are done right. If you use my product today, it takes seconds, right? So there's not much room for error or confusion, or just you got to nail it in the first experience, the first touch point that the user has. And that is where I see technology going over time, especially you start to talk about the Internet of Things. And there's still going to be room for games and UIs and tools that we'll use on our desktop, but the way we interact and interface with technology is going to be as seamless as anything. And that's really where I'm at right now, is how can we provide secure use at scale that's taking place in under a second, and it knows exactly who you are and exactly what you want to do. And so my window for the product is in under a second. of your life. And that's going to happen throughout the day. However, that's really what I see the future is, these quick interactions, either you're at the store, you're at home, or you're at a football game. We really want to make sure it's done fast and done right.
So we are talking about, as a product manager, we need to see what AI can do. And I think you just mentioned something about quantum computing when we last spoke. So bringing things together, it's going to be in the service design sector. It becomes very important part of how you are designing the services for the future. So how do you see that, the AI, the quantum computing and the service design when they are coming together? What would be the picture in the future while we are going to look at it?
Yeah, it's early, but I've had a front row seat into all these different areas. Spoken to a lot of smart people that are on the front lines building and training this data. And what's really interesting is, today we have powerful enough computers to train AI models, right? But the amount of data that you can, either access, either from a legal or regulatory standpoint, and the way you can train it is going to speed up exponentially, right? So I mentioned accuracy in my last answer. The accuracy of your response is dictated by the ability to train the model. And when you start to introduce quantum computing, all right, the promise of quantum computing is every result instantaneously, right? It's fascinating, it's mind-blowing. But even without reaching, that ultimate quantum state, if you can get halfway there, if you can get 25% of the way there, you can start to train these models instead of daily, for example, or weekly, or whenever your models are trained. You can start to do them every hour based on the newest data. That's going to be fascinating.
And that's
so you can get better and better.
Sorry. And that's when the security and the importance of the personal data becomes a key aspect. How do you think that the privacy is going to turn out in, say, 25 years? I'm keep asking questions about the future because you are coming from a direction where not many people have thought about, say, like 5 years ago, that how much impact the AI is going to make. And suddenly it comes 2023, 2024, and it's everybody that, is talking about that. How do we leverage GPT? And so from that point, like if I'm going to order a pizza, it could tell me that your cholesterol levels are high and you're not supposed to eat it. And we are going to make decisions for you. And that sort of thought is a bit horrifying, to say the least, because I don't want my life decisions or my day-to-day personal choices to be impacted by what the AI thinks about me.
Correct. Yeah, it's definitely a tool that if put in the wrong hands and can do some damage, right? At my current company, we're privacy first. We want to stay on the right side of the user and advocating for the user at all times. And it's 100% opt-in to everything. And so that's kind of my perspective, and where I come from is I want to make sure the user is served by the tool rather than the user serving the tool. And that's my objective personally. However, if you start to leverage the technology to make decisions for people, that's when I think it's crossing the line. I think AI is great in terms of being an assistant. So back when I started in AI, we used to call these things virtual assistants. I'm sure everyone remembers that. Over time, and from a rebranding standpoint, they became virtual agents. So now they're starting to take more control, but I really think they serve best as, an assistant making recommendations to you rather than you saying, or the AI saying, no, you cannot have a pizza. Maybe it suggests to you, here's this other kind of pizza, or here's some ways you can eat pizza, right? And then also these other meals you should be eating this other way, right? And being an assistant, but ultimately giving you the autonomy to make the final decision. I think that's best for everybody, and users ultimately have the final say.
So I think so far there are a couple of examples that I found, which is with AI plus IoT and the smart systems when they actually work together in borrowing manners. Was One, when there's in Asia, I think there was this cycling rental company employed that if you run out of credit or the balance in your account, it was automatically locking the bicycles. And people were, while they are in motion, it would just lock the bicycle and people were just going into rough accidents. That was one of the worst examples that without empathy, it was just the system, the way it was dictated, worked out. Without testing, it was rolled out. That what if the vehicle is in motion? Another example was that this guy who was, their parents were having a heart attack and he wanted to drive them. But the loan company decided that the due date of the EMI or the installment was past. They were late on payments. So they decided that even they were in a jungle or somewhere out in the country without any help available, the car decided to lock itself and say, we are not going to move because there are payments due. And because these things, especially say cars, they are associated with the sort of utility when it comes to emergency situations. That sort of feature or the blockers without empathy or without having considered all the edge cases, these sort of managing your life and deciding that what's going to happen to you next becomes a big bother when we are actually looking at the future. And I think that is where there has to be more humane elements that we can induce. Your thoughts on this? Do you think that we are going in that direction where the humans are taking a back seat in prioritizing the technology?
I do. However, I do put more onus on the consumer, right? So if you have the option to buy a vehicle, let's say, and you know it's attached to the internet and it's using AI to make constant improvements and do all these other things, I really believe that the consumer needs to do their homework when they purchase a vehicle. Now, I am in AI, I've worked in quantum as I mentioned, but I drive an old Jeep and I don't, let these vulnerabilities into my life, right? When I build products, I'm talking with my engineers and my, DevOps team about vulnerabilities constantly. And when I consume products at home, from food to anything, I'm making the decision to consume certain things. Now, it becomes a challenge when it's forced by, let's say, a government or a large corporation, and you don't really have an alternative to use a particular product. But I encourage everyone to do their homework and start to get a little more educated on the way, your refrigerator even, right? If your refrigerator is attached to the internet, there's a vulnerability that, it could just turn off one day because there's too much electricity being used in your home. And now all of a sudden you have medicine in there and the medicine expires and you're out of luck. And that's the sort of thing that I really want to stress to people is that there's no perfect system. There's no, silver bullets here. Everybody's trying. Models break. Models do the wrong things at times. And it comes down to, ultimately our responsibility as consumers.
All right. Wow, serious enough conversation. Let's jump into the fun mood. Let me ask you some questions from my rapid fire list, which I have prepared for you. All right, your favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? Oh man, Reese's peanut butter cups. I just love anything peanut butter and chocolate. Peanut butter and chocolate. I could eat all of them.
All right, so PB&J as the favorite snack?
The Reese's peanut butter cups. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But when it comes to sandwiches, are you going for PB&J then?
No. I like.
All right.
I've every day in school would be ham and cheese when I was a kid, and it still is.
All right. So what is your favorite food that you prepare yourself?
I have a world-class burger chef. I can make the best burgers, and I will compete with anybody if they want to challenge me to
All right. So
cooking
with that
hamburgers.
note, I think I should definitely try, plan a travel and visit to you. Because
Next,
if you say it's world's best, I don't think that anybody would want to miss that.
next time you're in Boston, just let me know.
All right. Window or aisle seat?
Oh, aisle.
Because
I don't
kids.
like to be blocked by anybody. I don't like to be blocked, and if I need to get up, I need to get up, and I'm not waiting for you to wake up. So I want the aisle.
All right. So books or movies?
I'm more into the books on tape count. I'll go there. Books on tape.
Books, they're still books. Audiobooks are books. I
Yeah.
think that would be the ideal way of saying, because a lot of the media that we are consuming is during commute and in the car. So I think that can be. So can you recommend a book to us?
Oh man. Oh, can I recommend a book to you guys? Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Never Split the Difference.
Yes, by Chris Voss. It's about negotiation and so much of what we do in our business life, in particular product management and product design. You're negotiating with users, with engineers, and he's a former FBI hostage negotiator, and he's teaching what he used to teach in the FBI to business people, and to all people for that matter. But the way we speak and engage within our day-to-day life, when everybody has a different agenda, it's been impactful in my career, and I would recommend that book to anybody.
Cool. So are you a morning person or an evening person? Is it sunrise or sunsets?
Morning, definitely morning.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Your favorite holiday destination?
Oh man, I travel so much. I like the Rocky Mountains.
All right.
Anywhere in the Rocky Mountains. Sorry?
With family?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Yep, go skiing, hiking, fishing, just being outside, away from technology, talk to people and, enjoy yourself.
all right. So while we were, discussing this rapid fire, I think I have enough questions there asked already that you would like to go on good camping trip in Rocky Mountains where you will whip out the grill and make mean burgers. And in the sweets, we can all eat Reese's buttercups and well, have fun. And the window seat will be taken by kids on the flight. You will take the aisle seat if we are going traveling
Yep.
anywhere else. And finally, we'll have that book of negotiation, because that is an art which I think everybody requires in their lives, even if not just the business. Interesting, isn't
Yes, absolutely.
the summary of it?
Yeah. So it sounds like an ideal trip for me.
Cool. So you were quite passionate about the education learning, because we were talking about that people who are coming in from different cities, if somebody is living in London, New York, or maybe in Silicon Valley, they'll have different advantages, and which are, I think, about 10%
Right.
of professionals which are in the field. And educational learning is a term that you want to, you are exploring, you're passionate, and you keep talking about it. How what does it mean, and how does it impact to every professional who is around?
Yeah, I think it's critical, especially if you want to be in advanced technology or advanced products. You're really on the tip of the spear, if you will, right? And so you're going on this journey, this adventure. You don't know what's around the corner, and if you don't have this mentality, if you don't have the tools, if you don't have the spirit to go into an unexplored world, right, you're gonna have a really hard time. There are certain careers where you may not need to be learning all the time, but in life, I believe, and in advancing new technologies, it's critical that you learn how to learn, because you don't have the answers, and that's the reason you're there. And so that's why I'm so passionate about it. For example, or for context, I started my career years ago, but I come from the woods. I live in the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Didn't have a lot of exposure to internships or anything like that. And, I graduated college, and then in 2008, the market crashed. So we had no jobs for my, age of people. And I went back to my college job, which was a gravedigger. And I didn't go to my summer internship like my peers. I was a waiter, I was a gravedigger, and I had to go back and do that. And it's challenging to start out in life without access to that summer internship, the unpaid internship. My parents are working class people, and they don't have the ability to just hand me lumps of money so that I can go intern for free. So I developed this habit of learning, and I had to say, okay, what's next? What do I got to do? You can have a vision and a plan, but you need to know what's next. And so I always was so passionate about that. in, okay, I want to go into a growing field because I have the best chances of promotion and, success. So what is that? Okay, I'm going to go into technology. What kind of technology, right? And you start to build this little roadmap of things you need to learn and habits you form and the discipline it takes to actually pull it off. And that's what I'm so passionate about. And I work with people all the time that might not come from, money or opportunity, and to get them focused on what's next. And that's my passion. That's what I do on a daily basis.
And I think so lifelong learning is always going to be something that will keep you afloat in any field that you are. And I mean, even the
Mm-hmm.
school syllabus changes. So as a teacher, you have to adopt and change your
Yeah,
mindset about what you are teaching. So it is a scientific method of challenging your beliefs and looking at the new data as you proceed. Nowadays, the CV filters will screen your CV out if you are not mentioning the keyword AI in there. So your profile will be automatically rejected because they are saying that we need to have that skill. Now, how you keep up to the pace, I think it is about constantly learning and evolving. So
that's
you
right.
also offer some sort of assistance, people who want to learn more, and you offer
That's right.
courses, do the mentoring there too. So anybody who is interested in willing to learn more about that, how they can actually evolve to become the professional, a futurist professional, how they can get success in their life. The website is spauldi.com, which is SPAULDI.com. Link in the description and also on the screen. So I think Adam, I looked at the offering, and I believe that that sort of guidance is pretty much needed for people who don't have access to direct resources. The mindset always, it has to evolve from one point to any point you want to go in your career. I think one thing that I recently noticed is in India, IT is big, but yet there is first generation which is going to retire in say in about 4 to 5 years. We'll have first retirees coming in from IT in big wave. And I'm not sure that what is going to happen and how that scenario is going to look like. But it is going to be interesting. And I think people who have those secondary skills developed, then they are the ones who are going to survive in the longer run. Otherwise, it is going to be really difficult future that we are staring at.
Yeah, and it's the rate of innovation over particularly the last couple of years. But if you look back just to the 1990s to today, it's a completely different world, right? And the people who can adapt, the people who can learn, will be the ones who win, right? I think personally, professionally, if you're not open and willing to change or to be able to adopt new technologies or new methods, it's going to be a real tough road for you. I had a mentor, say to me years ago, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? And that's a common saying, but always have the growth mindset, always be open in conversation, right? I mentioned negotiation. Maybe I don't have all the answers in this conversation, and this person is coming with good information that I can learn from, right? And it's a mentality. It's being open, it's being honest, and it's being, flexible.
Well, amazing. And one thing that should not let people stop is where they are coming from. They can be in a small town somewhere in the woods, but the mindset is everything that changes. Nowadays, tech access is everywhere. And there's still a billion people on the planet who are yet to come online and have to get the access. So the future is bright. But I thank you for putting in those thoughts into words. And it was a great conversations that we had.
Yes, thank you so much.
So thank you everybody for listening into our podcast, and stay tuned and please like, subscribe, follow. I think this is how they say it these days, don't they?
Right.
So these sort of interesting talks we'll keep bringing to you. And this is season 4 of UX Banter podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode. See you soon.